Okay. Good morning. The recording is going. I'm starting. The recording is on. Good morning. Hello. Hi. I'm here. And I'm starting. Wow. I know. I just see put record already, so I'm going to start. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, I love your mouth. I was in America. I live in America for a month. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Still apparently jet lagged. Yes. Yeah, it takes a while. It takes a while. So the recording is on. So I'm going to start. Good morning, everybody. Can you just close that door? Thank you so much. Yeah, if you could just leave that door closed. It's pretty loud.
I took this radio.
All right, good morning, everybody. It's Monday. I think it is the 29th, right? 29th of December, 2021. God bless you. And it's text. Is it text? Is it text?
Tomorrow's the fast of the test.
Oh yeah. It's Teva.
Why they can't see tomorrow?
1 second. I just want everybody to be conscious that the recording is going already, and I don't know how to stop it. So we're just gonna kind of jump in. We're in VaYechi. Just gonna ask everybody if you can silence your phones. I know sometimes whatever people are expecting calls, maybe put it on vibrate or silent. Helps a little. Don't know if any of you have ever seen this set. I just wanted to show it to you. I've never slept it before. It's so big, but this is an amazing set of Chumash. It's called Meor VaShemesh. So it's Torah, Chumash, and then it has, as the Mefarshim, like all these. It has like the Fushas Levi, the Normally Melech. It has Yonatan and Uziel. It has Rabbeinu Bechaya. It has the Ramban. It has the Or Yisrael. It's all in one sefer. Ibn Ezra Sforno. Yeah, it's really, really special. The Toldot Yaakov Yosef, the Meor VaShemesh. Yeah, really special. So,
What's it called?
yeah, this is what it looks like. And this is just VaYechi. This big fat one is just VaYechi.
That sefer is just very short. Sefer is just
yeah. Yeah. It's like it has such good it has such amazing commentary. So I don't know why I just felt called to bring it and grab it. But I figured that maybe we would just do some Meor VaShemesh. Meor VaShemesh is a commentator. He was a colleague of the Maggid of Medrash. His name is Kohanis Kalman Epstein. And it's amazing.
His name was Epstein?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And you'll see, I mean, the depth that he goes into talking about the nukva, talking about the feminine and the shlina, and in like the 1700s is really astonishing. The rise of the feminine, he's writing it like in the 1700s. I did also prepare a meditation. I just was, curious I feel like sometimes we have a lot of text, and what we need is an opportunity to coincide, to feel our bodies and to feel our breath, Is that something? Just raise, I guess maybe just raise your hands if you want to start with text, and then just raise your hand if you want to start with meditation. Next. Okay, so we're in the Meor VaShemesh, Parashat VaYechi. VaYechi Yaakov. Perush Rashi, Al Pi.
We have all the wind and the thing outside to battle against.
I'll always try.
They're selling a karaoke thing at the post office for 50 shekels.
Okay.
It's useful.
Okay, sorry. VaYechi Yaakov. Perush Rashi, Zichronah Livrach. Al Pi Chazal. Lama Parsha Zo Stuma. לפי שכיוון שנפטר יעקב אבינו, נסתמו עיניהם בליבם של ישראל. כן נראה לי. Okay, so he says, he wants to know, in the Torah, there are, black spaces and white spaces, right? In the actual Torah scroll. When you're looking at the actual Torah scroll, sometimes there are pauses and there are pieces between the black writing and the white writing, right? And when there's no pause, it's called satum, right? It means it's kind of signaling to you that there's a tightness, right? Like when there's all this white space, it means that there's like, and you say that spaciousness. So he's saying, and why in the end of this parsha is it satum? Is it closed? And it says because when Yaakov died, again, this is important because it's this week's parsha, right? So when Yaakov died, Nistimu einehem belibam shel Yisrael. It says the heart, both the eyes and the hearts of Am Yisrael got clogged up, got blocked when Yaakov Avinu died. Right? There's something about Yaakov and his role and his position as Yaakov and as Yisrael. And he says specifically, now this is really deep to take in because he says when Yaakov died, the eyes and the hearts of Yisrael, he says he wants you to take this in, right? Became blocked. Okay. Can you, Ali, please everybody shut off your phone. Can you, Ali, Perush Einehem, Hu Milashon Einei Ha'eda, Sheperusho Chochmei Ha'eda. גם כן רוצה לומר שנסתלק מהם החוכמה והשכל שנסתלקה מהם רוח הקודש מחמת שנפטר יעקב ולא היה מדרגת ראייה עוד בעולם כל ימי הגלות. He says this week, in this week's parsha, when Yaakov dies, right? So it's not yet the ketz, it's not yet the first, the final Geulah. It says the eyes and the hearts of Yisrael became clogged and have never been cleared since.
Eyes and heart?
Yeah.
Heart.
Why did it look like? You don't know. This and have not been since the moment when Yaakov passed. Because remember, he was going to reveal the full ketz. He was going to reveal the full, awakening, the full enlightenment. And then Hashem said, wait, not yet. And so it's still, wait, not yet. We're still in wait, not yet. Okay. ועוד נראה לי ניתן טעם לשבח למה הפרשה זו סתומה לפי שהפרשה של מעלה עם פרשת ויחי מבצעה להורות לנו דרכה והילוכם בקודש של יעקב אבינו עליו השלום, עם השבטים, עם זרעם, ובפרט עין נפש שהיו מייחדים ייחודים גדולים בישיבתכם במצרים בשלווה. Okay, so he says, but I want you to also know that he's also saying it l'shavach. He's also saying it as a praise. And he's saying that he's coming and he's saying, he's talking about this, when Yaakov came to Mitzrayim, he came with these 70 core souls, right? Which, by the way, right, in IFS is what we call the parts, right? 70 is always indicative in Torah of parts. Shivim Panim Torah, Shivim Umot Olam, right? 70 nations. And he says, but they also did these amazing yichudim in Mitzrayim, this amazing work to balance polarities, right? To deal with situations and people that are polar opposite than us. והיו מושכים השפעות לכנסת ישראל מגימל המוחין איליים שהם גימל הוויות שגימטריה מזלי כנזכר לאיו לזה. To the Meor VaShemesh should take you to the highest thing, like first thing in the morning. Okay, כנזכר לאיו. ולזה מרמזים לנו פרשיות כי ראשי תיבות מהפרשה שלמעלה עם פרשה זו להחליט דהיינו, sorry, I'm just going to go a little faster because he's digging very deep and I want to get to something else. ראשי תיבות גימטריה מזלי כנזכר לאיו גם היו מכוונים לשמות אהיה אשר אהיה בגימטריה חיים. No, we're not going to go there. ולזה מרומז ראשי תיבות ויחי יעקב עם סיום הפרשה שלמעלה ויפרו וירבו מאור גימטריה. Sorry, very long. Okay. ונזכר לאיו גם היו מכוונים בשם סג ולזה ראשי תיבות גושם. Okay, sorry. He's opening so much Kabbalah here. I just want to ground us a little bit. Okay. Do you guys know the basic names in Kabbalah of the basic light bodies that we have? So we have Av, Ayin Bet, right? That's the 72 name of Hashem, and that's connected to Keter, right? It's a 72. It's really musical notes and light tones and spectrums on the light scale. Okay, so the one up here is called Av, Ayin Bet, 72. Okay, and then we have one that's called Sag, which is Samich Gimel, which is 63. Okay, and that's connected to Chabad, to Chachma Bina Da'at. So it's really connected to the mental body. Okay, Av is connected to the top of Keter, right? So it's connected really to the opening of the vessel and where the Or Ein Sof comes in. That's Av. Okay, so it's connected to the Yud Gimel Midot HaRachamim, meaning the frequencies and the vibrations. They have a very clear, very high, very whole. It's the frequencies of the Yud Gimel Midot HaRachamim. So it's tolerance and patience and unconditional love and forgiveness and grace. That's
You
Av.
said it's connected to 72 names of Hashem.
Yes, that's Av.
And 13 Gimel Midot HaRachamim is the different.
Those energies are woven into the 72 names of Hashem. So then we have Sag, which is the 63-letter name of Hashem, and that's connected to the mental body. It's lights and sounds and tones and frequencies. But we say a name of Hashem, it also happens to be musical. It's also musical scales. It's frequencies. It's series of ones and zeros, right? The heart, right? Tiferet is the name of Hashem called Ma, Memhe, which is 45. Right? You'll notice that 45 is also the gematria of Adam, right? But Ma is it's a certain meditation to help us dissolve identity, right? Sometimes we use the word ego, and it's not a bad word. It just means our attachment to the parts and their burdens, right? So there's a meditation that when we're very identified in with ourselves and we're very attached to something, right? So the holy masters would use a meditation that they would say, Ma, like Ma'ani, like what is this, right? What is a way to break the identification with I am this body. I am this name, Reva. I am this person. I am this role that I play, right? When we say ma, we keep breaking that and going back to the ayin, like what really is this, right? Because this body is going to dissolve and this person isn't going to exist in however many years. And like this person who's looking in the mirror is the same person who looked in the mirror when she was 6, right? Or when she was 14, or right? But it's like ma, but it keeps changing. It has something about it that's permanent, but it also has something about it that keeps changing and changing and changing and changing. Right? So there's this 45. It's yeah. And then we have the last of these 4 names is the name Ben. And you'll notice that Ben is Gematria 52. That has to do with Yesod and Malchut. And of course, Ben makes sense because it's a reproductive. Yeah, it's a reproductive area of the body.
No, but it goes from the father to the son, and then these other 2 stages.
Yeah, except it's with an ayin.
Oh,
Yeah, it's with an ayin, 72. But yeah, but it sounds the same. I'm sure it's connected. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
those 4 things are 4.
There are 4 names of Hashem. Okay, so Ayin Bet, the 72 letter name, Sag, the 63 letter name, Ma, the 45 letter name, which is the whole Tiferet, it's the whole torso, it's the whole chest, and Ben, which is really like Nahin, Netzach Yesod Malchut, right? And you'll notice that it goes 72, 63, 45, 52. So you'll notice that, what is it when it goes, you can add it up, I don't know. So you'll notice that when we go down, there's a Yeridalet Tzorach Aliyah, right? There's a 45, but then it goes like a trampoline. It goes 52. Okay, so you notice that?
What's
So
30?
72, 63, 45, and 52.
232. But I mean, those are not the only 4 names. There are others, right? But do they also connect to parts of the world, or just those 4?
Of course. These are actually connected to 4 worlds or 4 states of consciousness, right? Av is connected to Atzilut, and Sag is connected to Bria, and Ma is connected to Yitzira, and Ben is connected to Asiya.
The other names of Hashem also connect to parts of the body, or just those 4?
Absolutely, yeah. We've done this before, but we could do it again really fast. Respiratory system, Ekya, Sher Ekya. Remember we did this? Chachma is Yud He.
Okay.
Bina is spelled Yud He Vav He, but pronounced Elohim. Right? Chesed is El. Gvura is Elohim and pronounced Elohim. Tiferet is Yud He Vav He, but pronounced Adonai. Netzach is Yud He Vav He Tzvaot, right? Tzvakot, right? And it's pronounced Adonai Tzvakot. Hod is Yud He Vav He Tzvakot, but pronounced Elohim Tzvakot. Yesod has 2 names for the feminine and the masculine of Yesod. It has the masculine, it's El Chai. And in the feminine, it's Shaddai, Shakai. Right? And then the name of Malchut, which is the whole vessel, or the skin, or the soles of the feet, or the birthing canal, or your mouth, is Aleph Dalet Nun Yud and pronounced Adonai. Okay. Yeah, so those are, meaning it's a musical instrument that has many tones and scales going many different ways in many different directions, and right. But really, also, what Meor VaShemesh is just helping us notice is like, just like if we go outside right now and we notice that the trees have been in a journey of descent, right? Their colors have been going from like green to yellow to orange to red to brown to black to shedding. We've also been doing that. So we've been also going from the name of Av on Rosh Hashanah, Aleph Bet, which is Keter, to Sog, to Ma, to Ben. You understand? Yes, Ayin Ben. Right? We've been going down the tree as well, just like the trees outside have been going down, rooting, and going down through the colors. We've been watching it, right? It went green, yellow, orange, red, brown.
Negative decomposing process with the intention of coming.
That's exactly right. And the V'nahafahu is either going to be according to Shammai Rosh Chodesh Shvat or Tu B'Shvat according to Hillel. When it goes all the way down, it goes boing, and it bounces back up. In other words, the sap starts rising back up the tree.
What's the Nahafachu again?
The changing of energy direction. Right now we're going down. We've been going down. Right? Since Rosh Hashanah, we've been going down. In and down. Right? The direction has been in and down.
Is that because of also the process of
this whole half of the year
in tune with the spiritual?
Yeah, this
process?
whole half of the year is in and down. And from really it's from Rosh Chodesh Nisan, right? But it really on the inside it starts in Shvat, right? But we don't, and then we start to see little signs of it, the inner work coming to the outside.
Like you see the shoots of the
just
tipping out of the soil.
Yes, exactly, and that's what we're celebrating. There's new life in there.
When does it start going down? Because Tu B'Shvat it already starts turning around, but I would think it could be Pesach, like 6 months.
Yeah, well, Pesach is the full expression, right? Pesach is the full expression of the new life. It's the first harvest, Pesach, right? We first start to harvest, actually barley harvest.
I'm harvesting lettuce now.
And then, yeah.
Wow, I'm growing a lot. That's great.
Okay, so we keep going. Okay, so he says, okay, so he says, so he just wants us to understand that, yeah, we've been going down, digging down in order actually to make these connections and to make these ichudim, but
to being in the center of the world.
Yeah. Okay.
ויקרבו ימי ישראל ימות וכולי, והנה יש לדקדק דהווה לומר ויקרבו ימי יעקב למות, כדפתח ויחי יעקב בארץ מצרים.
So he says in the days of Yisrael were coming closer to his death. So he says, wait, why are we using the name Yisrael all of a sudden? Right? We started by saying that the days of Yaakov were such and such, and now all of a sudden we're saying Yisrael, right? And he says, "Ubifrat lefi hayedua sheYaakov nikrak shehaya b'madregat tana." And he says, especially since we know that this name of Yaakov is when he's in smaller, lower consciousness. The Yisrael k'shehaya b'madregat gdola, and Yisrael is the name of the masculine when it's in healthy, higher masculine consciousness. Im ken, if that's the case, shita dehavele l'meimar ve'akruva yemei Yaakov lamu. And he says, then if he's coming to die, then it should say the name of when he's in smaller consciousness. It's coming to die. Why, right? It should say Yaakov. Why is it saying the higher masculine is now dying? Mele, you want to say his lower consciousness is dying and he's going to move into a higher consciousness. But it's not saying that. So I think, this is the Meor VaShemesh, that it's brought down in the Holy Zohar. Demitchila yesh beish haYisraeli nefesh hakdosha hameluveshet benefesh hachiyunit v'chulei v'zehu hanefesh
שממשיכים לו אביו ואמו לפי כוונותיהם בשעת הזיווג. That's crazy. Okay, so he says, in each one of us, there's a holy divine spirit, and it's enclosed in our body. But this holy divine spirit is actually pulled down from us, from our mother and our father, at the time of their zivug. Zacha yatir notnim lo ruach. Zacha yatir notnim lo neshama. He says, depending on the energy and the frequency and the vibrations and the kavanah of the parents during the time of lovemaking.
This is the last class we were just discussing with you very point about Abraham and Ishmael
and his Avram's parents, Amatle. Did you ever do that one?
Abraham, whatever. Just very point. We were just discussing that.
והנה מי שזוכה לרוח זהו שיכול לדבר דיבורים קדושים הם בתורה. And he says, and if the parents merit the level of ruach, right, in their lovemaking, in terms of like that they're open-hearted, that their emotions are connected and present, then the child will have a gift for tefillah and for speech and for like open-hearted kind of giving over of like tefillah and Torah, bli machshavot, without foreign thoughts. L'chen nikra, the tirgum onkelas ruach, ממעללה שיכול לדבר דיבורים קדושים וטהורים מבלי מחשבת פסול חלילה. מי שזוכה לנשמה, זהו שיכול לכוון מחשבות קדושות, זכות וטהורות, ויכול לזכות עוד יותר אל חיה ויחידה שהוא מדרגות יותר ויותר כידוע. And he says, the parents draw in a divine spirit for the child and kind of where they're going to kind of plug in, right? So if it's on the level of ruach, so they have like a very strong and clear emotional body. And if it's on the level of neshama, then they have a very strong and clear and beautiful mental body. And if it's chaya and if it's yechida, right, then they have an ability for integration and for connection. And yeah, you guys understanding? והנה לאו כל אדם זוכה לנשמה, מי שזוכה לנשמה הוא יכול לנהוג את הדור ולהיות נקרא רבי, מה שאין כן מי שלא זכה עדיין לנשמה. והנה הנפש והרוח מתלבשים באדם ושולים בו מה שאין כן הנשמה, הוא רק בשעה שמתפלל בכוונה עצומה. So I'm just going to go a little fast over it. I want to see if he's going to get into something juicier. בשעה שעוסק בתורה, התחילו וחימו, אז שורה נשמה של אדם, ההוא מה שאין כן בשאר היום. Okay, right.
They should teach this in college classes.
Yeah.
How to get to these people.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I think
Oh, that's so.
Okay.
What they're saying about like Abram being Abram and Sari when you had Ishmael, and then that basically just having that hay caused him to be able to have mitzvah.
Right. Kind of.
Kind of. Well, and he had a bris.
okay.
Also, right.
I'm just going to dive in here. Ready? Here we go. כי הנה שמעתי מפי קדוש, איש אלוהים, בוצינה קדישה הקדוש, המנוח, אב בית דין ורם דקדוש ונזכן, שאמר ששורש מה שנושאים אל הצדיקים. He says, here he's talking about, he says, I heard from his holy mouth. Now, I don't know if he's talking about the Magid, because this is the Meor VaShemesh. And he says, I heard from his holy mouth, why do we go to tzadikim? עיקר הכוונה לא כי מי שנוסעים עבור תפילה ויש מי שנוסעים עבור תורה. Some are going because of tefillah, some are going because of Torah. ויש מי שנוסעים עבור Sheyiru madregot, and some are going because they want to see what it looks like to live on these high spiritual levels. Lo zehu hanesi'ah ha'ikarit, but this is not the main reason. None of these. Not to pray with them, not to learn Torah with them, and not even to watch their midot. Right? He says this is not why we go to tzaddikim. Ela ha'ikar hanesi'ah yeh rak avur levakesh Hashem yitbarach leida liyar'eh me'Hashem yitbarach hayira haromamut v'leida ki hu ikara v'shorsha dekol amin. It's to see their Yirat Hashem, how they live in the presence of God, how they live with the awareness of the divine presence, right? We call that Yirah, means to see whose presence I'm in, right? And it's to watch how a being moves and functions when they have the constant awareness that they're in the divine presence, and the divine presence dwells in them, and everything they're doing, they're eating, they're singing, they're talking, they're praying, they're learning Torah, is with the awareness of a real relationship with the divine. We call that Yirat Haromamut, right? To see on this very exalted level that God is here, that God is with me, that God is in me, and see how someone who is constantly really holding that awareness moves and speaks and eats and interacts. It's really beautiful. He says, and how do we get to these levels? We get to these levels by hanging out with tzaddikim. Joshua Shambuzo Dikshu Hanav Tamim. Dorotse Lomar, Joshua Tashan Dahainu B'Tfilah. The Oz, I feel like I don't know why. Sorry, I'm gonna fast forward. I just feel like it's very masculine, the Torah is sharing. Okay. Ve'amar achar kach, Reuven b'chori yata, kochi v'rishit oni, yeter se'et v'yeter oz. So now he's going to come to the blessings. So maybe it's getting get juicier. So he says, Reuven, you are my firstborn. You are my first strength. You are the reshit, right? You are the first. And you are first of my might, first of my power. Nir'ala faresh al pi ma shamru chazal. Lo haya adam poteach b'tshuva ad shaba Reuven. Okay, so I think I know I've taught this to you guys before, but it's one of my favorite Torahs. It says that, right, Reuven was supposed to be the Bechor, right? And because of his deep emotionality and his deep impulsivity, right, he was not stable enough to be the Bechor, right? Bechor needed to be something very grounded and very rooted, which later is going to become 3 different Bechors, right? The Bechor of the kings at Yehuda, right? The Bechor of the Kohanim, right? Levi, and what's the third one? And
Yosef, no?
no, sorry, 1 second.
Yeah. Is there just?
Here, I don't think
This is
so.
already the by the time it's probably.
Okay.
Before.
Okay, so all of that got taken from Reuven, right? So he ended up not being the head of the kings, not being the head of the firstborn, and not being the head of Melucha, right? So what did he become the head of? Because he became the first person in the world to ever do tshuva me'ahava. Tshuva me'ahava, tshuva ila'a, tshuva from love.
No,
Reuven.
no, but who? Cain made tshuva? Or Adam Rishon Cain made tshuva?
Yeah, but out of
So that
fear.
wasn't
No.
Is it? Am I talking about
Reuven,
Cain?
it says Reuven is the reshit of a being. He's the first being who ever returned to himself, returned to Hashem from love, from compassion, from forgiveness, from gentleness and kindness to himself, right? Instead of from shame and from guilt. Reuven is the first one, right? He's the first one who cracked the secret that the only way we could really change is actually by accepting ourselves and forgiving ourselves and loving ourselves and not condemning ourselves. And that actually gives us the power to transform, right? There's a false belief in our psyches that if we beat ourselves, that's how we'll change. If we shame ourselves for bad behavior, then we'll change into good behavior, right? That's a false belief in the psyche. And Reuven is the first one to come and sweeten this idea that no, we don't change because we're beaten and shamed, right? Because we're diminished, because we criticize
Why couldn't
ourselves.
that be a good person to be a king? With those kind of mitos. And you want Yehuda, who ended up sleeping with his daughter-in-law, and like we have all that.
Well, everyone's just everybody is bringing their contribution, you know, and everybody's bringing their energy and their contribution. That's this whole parsha, by the way, right? Because he's going to bless all the shvatim. He's going to essentially say, and you know, we have all the shvatim inside of us. So he's going to say, this energy lives in you. When it's healthy and balanced, it looks like this. When it's distorted and out of harmony, it looks like that. And here's how we can help bring it into balance.
But how is Yaakov's blessing to Reuven a blessing? It's more like a rebuke. No?
Yeah, because we have Torah Shabbat and we have Torah Shabbat Peh. So in Torah Shabbat, he's pointing out that, right, that there's a shadow around being very emotional and very impulsive in how we respond to life, right?
Right.
But now he's saying, but the flip side of it, when that energy is unburdened and it's realigned, then that great sensitivity of Reuven, right, it can be channeled to have the sensitivity and the kindness to himself, right, and a forgiveness.
And they've heard in the times of Mashiach, he's actually going to become the Bachor again. Yeah.
So that makes sense now, because it's like the whole world is moving towards being more emotional and have energy before.
Levish just gave up the Torah.
Okay, so he says, "V'zeu shemelamed Yaakov Avinu levadei tshuva shelo liyot choshev shekvar asa tshuva shlema v'shuv adayin ein tzarich od tshuva lo zu haderech u'makom shebalei tshuva omdim." Wow, this is like really masculine Torah. Yeter seit ratzeh lamar milshon. Okay, I don't know. I feel like I need to.
What's he saying?
Wait, well then we need the balance.
Yeah. I brought this entire thing, and I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna so this has in it the Noam Elimelech, and it has the Or Yisrael, and I think maybe also I did bring a meditation. Oh, by the way, this also has the have you guys ever learned any Torah from Amuka, from Rabbi Yonatan Ben Uziel? So it has his mafar. You guys want to learn a piece from him? Rabbi Yonatan Ben Uziel?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So here.
Birds would burn when he go by him, would burn up and die.
What?
Right.
Yeah,
So we're not going to reenact that
A
part.
bird
But
would fly by him and they would burn from his holiness. Yeah, is that cool?
yeah, I mean, I just think.
Well, it's not so great for bird. That's cool for him. Like,
I mean, I just think it's amazing that, here is this Mafarash and we live,
down the street.
down the street.
We should do a class.
It's cold.
Not now.
Yeah, it is
It's
actually
beautiful
pretty cool.
there.
But can I just have a time check and someone just come to me?
It's 10 to 12.
Oh, so we
Yeah.
okay.
We could probably go over it. There's no 12:30.
There isn't.
There's no 12:30 class.
Who was supposed to teach?
Nobody didn't arrange anything yet.
Well, she didn't schedule anything?
No, starting next week.
Oh, cool.
So we could go over it. I don't know.
Okay, so I think I know. Right. So, let me just give you guys two options. Okay. Option number one is I have Rav Kook here. I don't know why, it's just not, for me, it's not opening. Would you guys like to do a piece for Rav Kook? Is there someone who would like to open?
I'll open. Can I open?
Zion. You're welcome on fire.
It's not. Sorry, Kavra, I'm just gonna ask you if you could just, it's really, really distracting for me when everybody starts talking. Sorry. Okay, so we are in Yesh Lecha Kanfei Ruach, and we are in the chapter. So this is from Harav Avraham Yitzchak Cohen book, and we are in the chapter called Al Yivahel Ve'al Yisog Achor. Don't be alarmed, don't be frightened, and don't look back, don't turn back. In other words, we're in the birthing canal now. Okay, we're in the birthing canal. The only way out is through, right? This is also where we are in the year, right? We're entering this birthing canal. We're entering Mitzrayim in the Parshiot, right?
Right.
And he says, right, it's getting really tight and stuck and dark in here. But he says, but don't, lo yivahel, don't freak out.
And we have a fast.
The al yisag achor, you can't go back up the birthing canal. This is a one-way street. Okay? The Reb Kook says it's a one-way street. In other words, enlightenment,
It's the-
waking
it's the
up,
red
all
pill.
of this, it's the red pill, right? The only way out is through. So Rav Kook says like this, Leolam, ein adam tzarich lazov et gdulat or hanoam b'dvekut elokita elyona berchavat hadat v'lo yachosh klal ma shenir'a lo shelo nitbararu adayin ma'asav. Okay, so Rav Kook says, we have this funny mechanism sometimes in us that because we don't feel fully purified or cleaned or cleared or healed yet, we resist the light and the love and the goodness that's here now. We have like a funny mechanism. It's like only when I'm perfected, only when I'm clean, only when I've done tshuva, only when I'm, right? We have some kind of story about like, when I get better, when I'm healed, then I can let love in. Then I
When I
can
clean my room.
when I whatever, right? Then I can be in dveikus. Then I can have this beautiful, intimate relationship with God. Right? But it's always then. It takes, when I get married, or when the kids are out of the house, or when, right? Then I can have this intimate relationship with myself and with the Creator. And he says, "V'kal v'chomer machshavotav." He says, and how much more so if I think that like I'm having, like my thoughts and my emotions, my midot, my character, and the way I'm showing up, my presence, if it's not like in alignment the way that I, I hope and want it to be, then I don't have access to this kind of wholesome, clear, version of myself and a peaceful, sweet relationship with myself and Hashem now. And Rav Kook's going, no, that's not accurate. That's not accurate. That's not the way it works. Ve'afal pi shehu margish et chulshat ritzono mikol makom hu yaseh et shelo diya nidbak ba'or elyon shehu yesod haTorah. And he says, and even sometimes if we feel like a weakening of our will, like I can't do this. This is just so much. It's such a like intricate, deep process to grow, to live in alignment, to live in truth, to, this is like, and he says, and even if our will starts to weaken and be like, God, this is so much. He says, no, just do your best. Just do whatever you can. Just do your best. And keep reminding yourself that all you're really doing is connecting yourself to the light. Right? Connecting yourself to light. Connecting yourself to the foundation of Torah. ואם יכול להתאבק בנקודה השכלית העליונה, לפי מידתו ומדרגתו, הרי הוא עומד במדרגה Haguna me'od. And he says, and even if we can just connect ourselves, even just what, like a point of higher consciousness, he says, that's already a really high level. Just for 1 second to be like, this is a really beautiful exercise, by the way, right? When we're like in when we're in like confusion and emotional confusion and pain and whatever, he says, there's a very fast meditation to align ourselves, to just ask myself, what is my true will? What's my true will? Right? Like it just cuts through a lot of like, my true will, is to be in alignment with God. So I might feel this and that, and this is heavy, and this is not aligned, and I haven't done this, and I haven't. Rav Kook goes, just plug yourself in by saying, but what's my true will? Right? Maybe I'm not there, I don't know how to do it, I haven't done the whole, but what's my true will? To be in something's dripping. Oh, it's the radiator heating up.
No, heating up.
ואם מרגיש איזה מסך בשכלו, עד שכל ענייני ציוריו אינם יכולים להיות בקיאים על פי הדמיון. מכל מקום כיוון שתשובה אלוהית פנימית מונחת בקרבו, והוא מכיר שרצון יסודי הוא להיות דבוק בחיי חיים, באור ההוויה העליונה, שכל החמדות, כל הנצחיות, כל העינוגים, כל השלומים, וכל הגבורות, הפארים, התהילות והזהרות, ממנה הם באים, ונפשו אורגת לקודש קדושים העליונים. אוקיי, הרי הדמיון שלו הוא הלבוש שבתוכו מתעלם השכל העליון. He says, what if all of this is so far from me? So far, I don't feel like my real self. I don't feel connected. I don't feel connected to God. I don't feel in alignment. I don't feel pure. I don't feel, so he says, and the Piazetzner Rebbe talks about this a lot also. He says, use your koach hamadame, use your imagination. Imagine that whatever spiritually you're trying to achieve, imagine it. So imagine that you talk to God and Hashem listens. Do you know that Hashem listens? No, you don't know. You're going to imagine that Hashem is listening. You're going to imagine that it's just called koach hamadame. Right? You're making it real by using this intermediary skill, which is called the imagination. And we know that even in the brain and in the nervous system, it can't tell the difference between something imagined and something real. It responds hormonally, right? If we're imagining fear or if we're really afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the famous thing from like Mesilat Yesharim, like if you pretend to smile, you start to activate, right, peaceful, calm, joyful hormones. Even if you're not really happy, so to speak, the body responds to the stimulus and the cue, right? So he says, so he's encouraging us, and he's like, do anything you can, just, imagine that your heart, if your heart isn't yearning for God, imagine that your heart is yearning for God, right? You see what he's saying? If you don't feel in alignment, imagine what would it feel like to pray a prayer and your heart was open-hearted and centered and clear, right? And he says, because our imagination is connected in the whole system. Shehu or Hashem bemet, hu yisod shashue Torah ve'chachma kula al ken. And he says it has this really interesting effect. Like when we imagine joy, our body actually gets filled with the joy and the light. Right? When we imagine peace, then our body actually receives the ore of the peace. So he's saying
You're very good at imagining.
Me?
You have to be very good at imagining.
You have to be very good at imagining. Well, actually, you're not wrong. Like Rabbi Nachman does say, the bigger imagination you have, the easier it is to connect to Hashem.
Makes sense.
Yeah. He says, like, we don't really know what God is or that God's listening to our tefillah, but pretend, right? We imagine that we're speaking to a being that loves us, that cares about us, that is listening, that is responding. Okay, this is the last paragraph. ולפעמים על ידי תמידיות התשוקה אלוקית הגוף נחלש. בזמן שלא נתעלה עדיין לגמרי. And he actually says something backwards here. He says, actually, sometimes we're yearning for holiness in God so much that we weaken our body. Rabbi Nachman talks about this a lot. Did you ever see people who are like we become unhealthy because we're spiritually yearning and striving so much that it actually weakens the body. And he says sometimes we don't, this has happened to me before, we don't want to learn or daven because the yearning for Hashem has weakened us so much. Has this ever happened to you? Yeah. It's like you need the light and you need connection to Hashem so badly that we don't even have the strength to learn or daven. But don't allow your heart to bless you to become sad. But be joyous and have strength in our good portion. kadosh ועליון זה, וסברו על השם אלוקיו, אל תקרי סברו, אלא שברו בימין השם ומימיו ועושה חיו. Okay, it's funny, I do remember somebody once opening to that one. It's usually it's always a new piece. Does someone else want to open?
I can't wait
To read it.
It's been
Or
well
opening
read,
to a
right?
random page.
So much.
Sounds interesting.
It does. It's so interesting as this picture that they chose to, okay, good. He looks so gorgeous, right?
Looks so what?
Good word. Yeah, very. I think it was a little terrorized.
But it's passion, maybe.
I
We
was
can
just
go to
thinking
his-
I could just stare at it. It's
What?
so fiery
Wasn't
and
he?
penetrating.
He lived in Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
Yeah, because someone took me to. I think it was his original film and Nachlat. Wait, Nachlat.
Yeah.
Not Nachlat. In
Or
Tel Aviv.
there's Beit in Yerushalayim, and also he lived in there. Okay, so the title of this chapter is Ha'emet Yimtza Adam Rak B'Pnimiyoto. The truth is found only inside. Truth is found only
Good
inside.
choice.
Yeah. Ruach HaPnimi Mevakesh Lo Et Netivotav. It says our inner spirit is asking from us to the permission and the freedom to find its way in its path. So crazy because this is the meditation I brought.
No way.
Doreshu le'amida bsisit miyisodo hapnimi. And it's asking for a stable, upstanding, in other words, what he's saying like this. He's saying like this. Our breath knows. Our body knows. Right? Just allow your breath. Don't impose. Right? There's a way that we do breath work when we impose a pattern on the breath. We say, now we're going to breathe in 2, we're going to breathe out 1, something like, right? And we're imposing upon the breath. And that's beautiful. And it will lead you to some really beautiful places. But here he's saying, allow the breath to take you inside yourself, to show you what's inside of you, who's inside of you, what they're feeling, what's happening in your body, saying like, allow your breath to guide you, to be your teacher, to connect you in. Kol ma shemoshitim lo min hachutz mehanishma vehanirah lo yashiv behem et nafsho hu doresh acharei mekoro ha'atzmi. He says, leave all the outside stimulus, leave all the outside reflections of who tells you and reflects to you that you're valuable, not valuable, that you're this, that you're approved, you're good enough, you're not good enough. Just leave all of that and go follow your breath and go inside. Go inside. Seek after your own, what is my essence? Who's in here, right? Who's dwelling in here? Zorahu hala et kol ma she'omed lo al darko. And he says, and also you're going to meet all that which stands in opposition to you going inside and meeting yourself, all that which blocks you, all that which is in the way. He says, as soon as you follow your breath, you'll see where in you the breath is blocked, where in you the breath is flowing, where in you there's resistance, right, to going inside, right? And he's saying spiritually, emotionally, but also physically. You might take a breath and feel something tight in you. You might, right? He says, just notice. And he says, your breath is your guide to your inner being. So you'll see if you follow your breath, who's inside, what are they feeling, who's hurting, who's disconnected, who's alone, who needs attention, who's in pain, who's tight, who's stuck, who's blocked off, who's numb, who's angry, who's frozen in grief, right? He says, follow the breath and it'll show you the path to yourself and all that's blocking you. Wow, this is Kabbalah Torah. לפעמים יהיה לו לשטן גם מה שהוא לגבי כל הנזקקים רק לקליטה חיצונית. Okay, and he says, and Satan here comes from the word satani, right? To take you off the path, right? He says,
And you spell it the same you spell it?
same as way you spell Satan, the devil. Sin tet nun sovit, right? And he says, again, follow your breath and you'll see sometimes it's taking you off the path, meaning it's trying to distract you. It's right. It's showing you, maybe an anxious breathing pattern or a tight breathing pattern or a closed breathing pattern. גם מה שהוא לגבי כל הנזקקים רק לקליטה חיצונית, הטוב והקדוש, והוא בחיפושו העצמי, מוכרח לנצח גם את אלו המכשולים שניצוחם קשה מאוד, אבל בדרישות אמת פנימית וחפץ טהור בלתי פוסק, גם אלה הדורים מתיישרים, ולא ימנע טוב להולכים בתמים. Okay, and essentially he's just saying here, what time is it?
12:06.
Okay, I really want to I just want to take you guys to the meditation. Yeah. Okay, so close your eyes. Just relax. Put your feet on the floor, grounded. You can put your hands down on your knees, just to ground you. Okay. This is you ready? All right. So this is an exercise for a deep transmission, for the restoration of flow and the completion of energy trapped in your body, for the deep loving. Okay. So we're going to close the door, the physical doors behind us, but also the doors of performance, explanation, mental tension. Okay, this moment does not ask you to be strong. It does not require understanding. It does not care how spiritual you are. This moment waits for one thing only, for you to stop interrupting what is already trying to happen. Let the breath return, not as a practice, just your regular breath. You've been holding it without knowing, bracing the chest, breathing only as much as the world allows. Now there's more space. Let the breath take itself. Feel it move through the back of the ribs, the curve of the diaphragm, the heavy belly. The breath is not yours to control. It's the signal of life, older than thought. Let it rise, let it fall. Feel the weight of the body. Feel it drop into the floor, into the chair, into the center of gravity that you forgot you had. Let gravity work on you. This is not deadness. This is not depression. This is descent into the truth of now. Let your muscles be soft and let the spine unwind. Let your face dissolve its holding. You can let go of self-consciousness. You're not being watched. Not here. Let your awareness drop. It's no longer perches in the forehead. It no longer tenses behind the eyes. It melts down like warm oil into the chest, the belly, the pelvis, soles of the feet. Feel the awareness spill into the hands. Let it flow down your legs. The mind is not gone, but it's no longer needed to lead. Something older has taken the reins. And now to the one that has been vigilant and gatekeeping. The one who fears what might rise. You have worked hard. You have protected us from overwhelm. You have kept the system from flooding. You have interpreted symptoms and tried to keep order. And now you're being offered rest, re-education, renewal. You are not bad. You are not broken. You're not being punished. But you are not needed here in this moment. The body has waited long enough. You may sit beside us quietly. You do not have to disappear. But you do have to stop interfering with nature. This is the body's turn, the body's moment. The body does not heal on command. It does not release because it's told to. It releases when it is allowed to. The heat in your chest, or the buzzing in your hands, or the tight band around your throat, or the pit in your stomach, the pain, the thoughts, the exhaustion, the anxiety. These are not merely sensations, they are communications from your body. They are not problems, they are held energy, held grief, held cries, held boundaries, held instincts that were once too dangerous to express as nature intended. Say silently now to yourself, to your body, whatever is ready to be felt, I will not stop you. Whatever needs to move, I will not interfere. Whatever comes, I will stay. I will allow it. This is not a mantra. It's a vow, a promise made from yourself to your body. I will no longer abandon you, my body, when you begin to speak, when you begin to balance, when you begin to sense what is here, not by naming, not by fixing, just by becoming space. You are the field now. You are the atmosphere around the sensation, the emptiness in which the object of the sensation exists. You are the mirror, clear, reflecting, and moved. And inside this mirror, the body begins to show itself. It may start slowly, a tiny buzz, a ripple, a flicker, a sudden pressure. Don't be tempted to interpret it with thought. Just stay in your body. Don't push, don't manage. Just stay present in your container, in your body. What you're feeling now, it's not trauma as such. It's energy that was not allowed to complete its cycle. It's breath that got stuck halfway. It's movement that was paused in protection and defense. It's a response that froze into the body and became your identity. That response is not your fault. But holding it and resisting its completion has created great suffering. Completion never happens through control. It happens through trust and surrender. It happens through allowing. Trust that which you do not yet understand. Trust that which you do not yet understand. Trust your body. Trust its sensation. Maybe trust the heat or the cold in your body. Trust the jerks. Trust the shaking. Trust the wave of cold. Trust the tingling. Trust the buzzing. Trust if there's any pain. Trust the tear that comes with no story. Trust your urge to curl or stretch or groan. Trust the wave of fear or grief or numbness. Don't need to label or fix or resist or comfort. All we're doing is staying with what is. Stay as the space that permits all of this to arise. And what arises now is the beginning of teshuvah, of return. What wishes to complete now is the end of resistance. You are not in any danger. You're in truth. Stay here. Do not rush. Your body is not separate from your field, from your neshama, from your energy. It was never isolated. It was never your body in the way you were taught. It's a thread in a vast living weave, a shape carved from the field expressing the whole in one specific form. When you allow this shape to return to flow, you're not just healing, it's the whole field rebalancing itself through you. And you're not doing this alone. You are doing this as a part of everything. Understand that your mind will ask for progress. Ignore it. The mind wants proof, measurement, linear success. But what's happening now is non-linear. It's dimensional. It's archetypal. It's neurobiological. It's cellular. It moves like mycelium, like a dream, like breath and deep sleep. You cannot track it. You can only let it continue. Trust your body's slow intelligence. You've been taught to distrust the very thing trying to save you, your body, and its sensations and its movements. You were taught that discomfort is pathology, or that symptoms are failure, or that pain means that something has gone wrong. But what if pain is just energy pushing against the old boundary? What if fatigue is your body demanding reverence? What if this heaviness is just the weight of completion and coming home, not punishment, not regression or return? And return happens in layers. Don't try to finish. Don't ask for closure. Let your body cycle and loop and deepen. Let it reapproach what was incomplete from a new angle. Each layer allows the next. The spiral is sacred. This is not repetition. This is refinement. You are not here to transcend. You are here to descend into the roots, into the earth, into the body, into your organs, into your bones, into your physical truth. You are not escaping the body. You are becoming within your body. Only through embodiment does the formless re-enter form. You feel your breath and your spirit going into your body. You are not ascending, you're integrating. And you allow stillness to arrive. Even under the noise, the chatter, the sensations, it is there. It can coexist with everything else your attention is drawn to, because everything that moves is based on stillness. Not the numbness of suppression, not the flatness of dissociation, but the rich, fertile stillness that comes before and after everything, and after release. Let your pulse slow. Let your breath widen. Let your body feel its own weight and rhythm again, without interference. This stillness is not empty, it's whole. Stay in your awareness. Awareness does not need to interpret anything. It does not fix, it does not comment. Like a mirror, it reflects. Like emptiness, it contains. It reveals you are that mirror now. Every part of your system that begins to emerge, pain, fear, shame, rage, numbness, is safe in this reflection. You are no longer the actor, you are the field. The mirror is not passive. It is not neutral in the way the world defines it. It's active in the way mountains are active, in the way rivers move without effort, in the way night falls and changes. Your stillness is not lack of engagement. It's the perfect condition for reintegration. Let that be enough. Now you may notice something new. It may be lightness, a glimpse of clarity, relief, not a high, not elation, just a tiny soft return of vitality. Just a petah, openness, a current, a thread. This is not your reward. This is your natural state. When resistance falls away, welcome it gently. Do not grasp it. Let this feeling be like breath here, then gone, then here again. Do not cling. Do not analyze. Let the light be free. The moment you possess it, it hardens. The moment you welcome it and allow it, it stays. Joy is not chased, it is allowed. And you are now learning how to allow. Let whatever comes into your awareness be integrated gently. There's nothing you need to do for this to happen. Nothing to lock in, nothing to preserve. You're not trying to stay in any state. You're letting the body show you how it integrates in its own way, in its own time. The nervous system does not need your vigilance. It needs your non-interference. Don't analyze or predict. Do not name. Don't teach what has not finished unfolding. Just allow. Integration is not linear. You may feel clear and then foggy and pain and then not, in anguish, despair and clarity for a moment, and then collapsed. Trust this oscillation. Healing is not a climb, it is a wave. Completion is not an event, but a rhythm. What you are becoming now is not a final version. It's a system that no longer resists its own wisdom. There's nothing to hold. There's no lesson to memorize. There's no insight to write down on your list of how to recover. The body has already received it. The field has already changed. The process continues. This work does not live in memory, it lives in resonance. Let your mind be quiet. And if your mind is not quiet, who is the one that can see your mind being noisy? Just allow that, because that's always quiet. Now bow not to the technique, not to the outcome, to the body, to the breath, to the part of you that waited for this. Bow to the mirror, to the field, to the emptiness that held you and everything else, to the presence that revealed itself when you stopped trying to heal. This is chayin. This is grace. This is awareness. You are not who you thought you were. You are not a problem, not a failure, not a mystery to be solved. You are not your resistance. You are not your fatigue. You are not your pain. You are not your condition. You are not a story. You are what remains when all of those things dissolve. You are what remains when you realize you are what is aware of them. You are the field and form. You are the great awareness that permits all of this to be perceived. The self does not heal you. It simply stops interrupting. And in that space, the body begins to complete what it always knew how to do. The blueprint was never lost. It was only postponed. The code is running again. Let it. You are not doing this in isolation. You are part of a network, a web, a collective. When you release, something larger moves in you. When you allow the entire field soften, you are healing in relationship, and the relationship is sacred. The war is ending. You are the one who ends it, not by winning, by refusing to fight yourself any longer. This is not resignation, it's return. This is not collapse, it's coherence. You're not losing control, you're releasing interference. We're almost done. So that the energy stuck frozen in your body can now express. It's a remembering of rhythm, of flow, of the greater field of awareness, of who and what you really are before the trauma, before the effort, before the mask, and what you are is enough. Let flow return unforced. This is the great allowing, and it's happening now. And we're going to just let it continue. So that's an exercise we started on Hanukkah of Chod, right? The Chod, this birth, Chod, you'll notice has in it the word who led it, right, to birth, right? So it's where we are now, which is this place of not resisting anything, not fighting anything. Seeing how we can go like through our day with this kind of meditation, that there's whatever comes into the space and whatever arises, if we can see if we can meet it with some curiosity rather than pushing against it and pushing it away and fighting it. Okay, yeah. I don't know. How was that?